Yeah. Numero UNO, me and Drizzy like the Super Bowl, man. Then it big as the what? Big as the what? Big as the what? Big as the Super Bowl.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Warframe video. A lot of news has just recently dropped going over what's next for Warframe, and I'm excited. The cool thing about this is that this update comes out next month, which is going to be insane because that's when the Switch 2 also drops, and I'm curious on how Warframe's performance will be on that console. But this update is bringing a lot of new information, so if you're curious on what's about to drop and be in Warframe, stay tuned. But if you're new to my YouTube channel, be sure to subscribe and join the squad. I try to go live stream as frequent as I can, but if you guys do have any questions, just let me know in the comment section below. And yeah, let's go ahead and dive into the Isleweaver update and what's to come. So this update is bringing a new Warframe called Oraxia. This Warframe is a spider-based Warframe that I guess a lot of people have been longing for. I feel like we had this like a spider ephemera that might have been a little tease to what's to come, but she's finally here. Oraxia, it's like arachnid, but they kind of did their twist on it. But Oraxia, from what we got from a small tech, she might have a siphon ability where she can drain health and energy from enemies, providing as a resource management, kind of similar to Garuda. She'll have a web technique that will snare and immobilize enemies that would provide good crowd control. We can assume she'll get a summon ability where she can summon her spiderlings that might add some type of boost. What if it's like every enemy hit by the spiderlings will increase critical chance, place some type of status effect. It can go multiple ways with this one. And then a wall climbing ability. This might just be her passive, but we shall see once they start showing us visual representation of her abilities. But yeah, she would have the ability to climb walls and stuff like that, placing herself like in high positions where she can't get hit by stuff. I can see them doing this because there's a lot of Zephyr builds that just fly in the air and just nuke a lot of enemies, so they might want to capitalize on that with the Warframe. Not only are we getting this new Warframe, but they did showcase Valkyrie's heirloom skin. I feel like this is going to be released a little bit or on TennoCon. Sometime around that time is when they're releasing this skin, and they showed us that early 2026 Vauban heirloom is next. So yeah, these heirloom skins are very rare. If they're dropping it with these like long gaps, you can tell that Warframe just has so much planned for the future of this game, and I'm here for it. But Vauban looks super clean. A cool thing that you guys don't have to wait too long for is that in 3 days, hopefully, of me posting this video, Yareli Prime releases on May 21st. She will be finally getting her Prime access, and she looks amazing, almost like Jade. She gives me Jade vibes with the wings and the whole Seraphim look. But not only are we getting Yareli Prime, we're getting her Daiku Prime, which is a very good bow. I feel like you can build this bow in the dojo, so I don't know if they're just pulling primaries from other weapons now, but for sure the Compressa Prime, we're getting that bubble blaster, and it's very broken. If you guys want to check out my Gauss video, I used it. And of course we're getting the Marilena Prime. She's gonna get a nice golden accent look to herself as well. There is a new ephemera that comes with this Prime access that adds another layer of goddessy onto Yareli. Another cool skin, I know we're in the Warframe section right now, but Kalervo Deluxe skin is coming out with this update next month, so you'll start seeing this skin around on the Kalervo mains. Kalervo is very broken, and his Hamlet ability just is a game changer for sure, so don't sleep on him. Citron Deluxe is also another skin that we are getting with this update. She looks amazing, and I'm just glad like we're in that wave of newer Warframes getting some skins, so this is awesome to see. So that will be next month. And then I kind of glazed over it, but the Isleweaver update, if you're curious on what that is, they are saying like this is a lore update where You know how, what's her name? She disappeared from the 1999 realm. I guess she is now appearing in Deviri. Oraxia is a Warframe that came from one of the lost islands of Deviri. So it explains that, like the man in the wall, it can show you his connections. In Deviri Paradox, I thought they said they were going to stray away from the man in the wall for future updates, but maybe this is like the last few tidbits before we get to see what's really going to be happening after TennoCon. Yeah, I'm going to get stuck talking on lore if we get on that, but we are also getting a clan operation mission that will be launching with this. There is a new mode by Deviri when this update comes out that's permanent, and this mission node would be used for the clan operation mission, in which you can run this mission for a set period of time. It is a limited event, but you would be able to buy an evolving Signa that's within these rewards, as well as a new incarnate scythe. So do not sleep on this clan operation. Gargoyle, Cry of the Gargoyle, Belly of the Beast. We had a few clan operation events already, so they're always amazing when they drop. They're doing a quality of life update in which the Grineer maps, or the maps that shows like you being on the Grineer ship, a lot of the earlier mission tile sets, the lighting looks amazing. So I think that lighting change is happening when it comes out with this update. We also have a change from plant pickups being actual pickups and not scans. So if you guys were doing missions like you have to scan like the tropic moonlight, I forgot, some would spawn in the daytime and the nighttime, and you have to build these scanners. That was a real hiccup on the learning curve, so I guess they're trying to dial back on that, and just, I mean, it's more realistic. You're picking up the plants, why not? They're going to be doing railjack changes. I don't know what this means. Maybe they're patching up some glitchy things that just happens in it, or making the railjack an easier, smooth transition for players when they're just accessing it. They're adding more Kim conversations. Please, we don't care about this. Can we just stop asking for more Kim conversations? I mean, it is cool if they're throwing lore bits in there, but at the same time, I would rather them focus their energy on some other things on Warframe, even though it will be cool if you're a new player and you come in and you run into the Kim feature with all of these updates already implemented, and you just see how heavy and thoughtful this new system is. So I guess adding more Kim convos is cool, but I feel like we added too much at this point. But one thing that I do think is weird, and I thought it was cool back then, is that when you finally completed your star chart and accessed Steel Path, you unlocked arbitrations. But that is no longer the way anymore. Now they're changing it that once you beat the Pluto Ares Junction, the arbitration mode unlocks. I mean, it doesn't really do anything crazy. It just allows players to access galvanized mods quicker and Grendel quicker. That's basically it. But I don't know, I just thought of it as a cool reward for players to beat it. Like, dang, like now I got access to this. So I hope they don't continue to quick unlock other things that are like Steel Path exclusive or something like that. Like, imagine them start dropping Steel Essence on normal missions. That I would riot. Now, another thing is that they're adding new operator hair, which is the hairstyles from the 4 recent proto frames, and ambassador buff incoming, which is crazy because the ambassador, I do love this weapon, and now I do have a ribbon for it. Shout out to one of our Tenno squad members who gifted me the ambassador ribbon. But now I guess we'll get to test out how stronger this weapon is really going to become. We are getting 4 new Warframe augments, which will be insane for Kalervo, Caliban, Citron, and Jade. I just like this wave of new augments because all Warframes that are in this list are new. So we're just now in that new era of where the OG Warframes are no more. Well, not no more, but like now we're just focused on the newer stuff, which is exciting. Slime changes are being altered to where you're not getting insane amounts of damage from slime attacks if you're jumping 1 inch in the air. Now it scales with how high you jump, which just makes the game, some people might see it as a nerf, but this honestly would just make the game more realistic, you know. I already talked about TennoCon 2025 on how that will be happening in July, and so they're giving this update in order to wait. And once that happens in July, we should be getting the heirloom skin around that. But no, they wanted to stray away from the man in the wall, and they been giving us surveys on like, what do you think is next for Warframe? So if you don't know about Warframe lore, there's a lot of loopholes, and if you do, there's a lot of loopholes that are still open that could be possibilities for what they could showcase at TennoCon. And if none of these are it, I'm excited, because then that just adds more to the table. But the Tau system, that might not be shown yet, because the Tau system I see as something way far in advance for Warframe, because a lot of players are expecting there to be a new star chart that comes with this Tau system. Or they might treat it like how Deveri Paradox, where we load up into a certain mission mode that takes us throughout the region of the Tau system, you know, but we're only in there temporarily until the mission's over. But no, I feel like the Tau system would be a big one that they will save later on with new planets and all that stuff, because that would also, I feel like they can incorporate sentient liches with that. We do have Hunhao still here, so something with Hunhao, if anything about the Tau system, there will be an update that would make Hunhao flee there, or something with Hunhao that would set up the steps for that lore. Another speculation could be that Stalker's child is existing, you know, like there's a Warframe baby. What does that mean for Warframe? What does that mean for that specific Warframe? Like, are we going to be getting that Warframe, and will this Warframe be different from other Warframes? Will this be implementing some type of new system? Like, what if you can sacrifice 2 vanilla Warframes to have a baby, and that Warframe would be, it can have another ability from its parent Warframe? I'm really just throwing, you know, what if once it's born, it's able to reach level 40? You would now have access to level 4 abilities, which would be a game changer for Warframe. So that's what I can, you know, I don't know. So that's another loophole that they got, Stalker's kid. Another one is that in Dante's Unbound, we learned that the Cephalons are potentially able to be reverted back into their human form. So what does that mean for Ortis? What does that mean for our Railjack Cephalon? What does that mean for, you know, like, do we really know if Ortis is good or not? Like, they can do a lot of twist with this. But in Dante's Unbound, more importantly, Parvos Granum has taken over the Laverian, bought it out. So now, what does that mean for this dude? Another thing is that Deveri, I spoke on it earlier, but Deveri has other missing islands that drifted away, so they could showcase us some other things where the islands are coming in. I just feel like they might not, because Deveri relates with the man in the wall, so they could wait on that part. But there are other islands, and since they're bringing Oraxia, it just shows proof that they do think about that lore piece of the other islands, so maybe there might be future plans with that. Another loophole is that Pazul is still alive. They had, I think they still say there's like a few more proto frames that they want to drop. I don't think these were the last, but if there are any more, I feel like that would be what they can use the future update, just to showcase like the last remaining proto frames that they're going to develop. The last loophole that I can think of in terms of what they can show at this update or TennoCon is Tafker, Bird 3, and Fibonacci still got beef. The most important thing for this is that what if once Albert comes back, he's just now able to work on, or he's able to explain to us how to work on his vessels, so that the whole point of 1999 was to capture the man in the wall in our dreams. Because when you're in your dreams, just like the very paradox, you have like just strong power, which kind of is messed up that the man in the wall went there not knowing that. He doesn't know how our drifter's legit god in the very, like, he left 1999 to run away from us just to find out that it's going to be the same thing almost, but worse, in the very paradox. That's funny. But yeah, what if they showed us how to make more pocket dreams? Like, I feel like that would be another way they can show the proto frames, but those vessels legit can just harness realities. But those are my open loopholes that I've seen with this lore, and that, you know, there's still questions for, so they can potentially have any updates that addresses any of these things. If not, we just got more coming for us, and that's just better, and we know they're gonna cook. But that was basically it. They are going to do more quality of life things, like you can customize your Warframe when you're running the Deep Labs Archimedeans and all that stuff. But we'll find out more once the full update is out next month. But I'm excited to test this out. I'm excited to be grinding for Yareli Prime in 3 days. Just so you guys know that with this update, if you were not able, I think this is the last weekend you can farm the Galleons update for the 2 new Grenier weapons. If you missed out on those, I believe they dropped from these new enemies on the new mission mode when Isleweavers drop. So don't worry, you're not going to completely miss out. You just got to wait a little bit. But that was it. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments below. You guys be safe, keep up the grind, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.